Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. This is Kevin Moon from God's Country. It's time for your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's weather. Now, here's my friend, Dr. Don.
Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don with you on your Thursday morning. And I want to remind you to be sure and scan that QR code so you can get that cost-free, no-obligation insurance quote from Jamie Dukas. Jamie can save you a lot of money with Alpha, so do that or click the link at the top of this video to find out just how much money Jamie Dukas can save you. We got a lot to talk about this morning, and our weather situation for this afternoon just got a little more serious. First, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that little bell so that when we go live for severe weather coverage, which is a very good possibility this afternoon, you'll get that push notification, so you're guaranteed to know that we're on the air giving you live severe weather coverage. So here's what's happened just in the last hour. The Storm Prediction Center out in Oklahoma has just upgraded our severe weather risk to an enhanced category. Now, that's 3 out of 5. That is not a category that we see very often across Alabama and Georgia. So now we've got to pay a little more attention to this thing. We've been in a slight risk category for the last 3 days. And I told you over the weekend when they put that slight risk category up that early that there was a decent chance it would be upgraded to an enhanced risk. And here we are. That's happened this morning. So what does that mean? That means that our chances of seeing significant severe weather has now increased even more than what we originally thought. So all of East Alabama, West Georgia, and North Georgia, including the Northeast Georgia mountains, now outlooked for an enhanced risk of severe weather. So what's making this particular storm system a little more significant? Well, it is the low-level jet stream, the winds up in the upper levels of the atmosphere at about 5,000 feet are running at around 50 to 55 miles per hour. So when you get convection, which is rain, and these thunderstorms, when they move into the area, these storms grow up to 25, 30, 40, even 50,000 feet. And when they get up that high, they tap into that veering and those high velocity winds at the 5,000 foot and higher level, and they transport that wind down to the ground. And because there's veering taking place up there, it makes these thunderstorms rotate. That's where we get the thunderstorms, the possible tornadoes, and when it brings that high velocity wind to the ground, that's where we get those damaging straight line winds. And it's going to be windy today, even away from thunderstorms. We have a wind advisory that's in effect all day long for winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. So we have a serious situation now. So if you're in East Alabama, anywhere across Alabama or Georgia today, you either have a slight risk or an enhanced risk. Both categories should be taken seriously. But especially if you're in that enhanced risk, which covers all of our coverage area across East Alabama, West Georgia, and even up here in Northeast Georgia, you need to pay extra attention to what's going on around you today. This is a day that you're going to want to have situational awareness. You're going to want to know what's going on with the weather off to your west and off to your northwest, because what's happening up there more than likely is going to eventually happen where you are as we get into the afternoon. Now, we could see thunderstorms pretty much at any time today, but the severe stuff, the stuff we're concerned about, will come in after 12 noon, probably around 1 to 2 p.m. It's not going to last all afternoon long. We're talking maybe a period there of about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour where we have our best chance for severe weather, and then we'll have a couple of hours of rain after that line moves through, and then it's all gone, and then we turn bitterly cold with a slight chance of snow flurries by tomorrow morning. But make sure you have multiple ways of receiving severe weather information. This is why I preach to you all the time to go buy a NOAA weather radio. You'll have that. Then you'll have an app on your phone. And then you'll subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather over on YouTube so that when we go live, you'll get that notification. Facebook not always will send you a timely notification. So that's why it's very important to go to our YouTube page and subscribe to our channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And the only time you're going to get a notification from me is when we're going live, which is when that's exactly what you need to know. And there's a high likelihood that we will be going live this afternoon. So make sure that you go over there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So that's the deal, folks. Pretty serious, potentially a serious situation this afternoon across East Alabama and West Georgia. I mean, there's always a bust factor to any forecast like this. If things don't line up just right, and we're certainly hopeful they don't, then we may not have much of any severe weather this afternoon, which is exactly what we would hope would happen. But I got to tell you, all the ingredients for a severe weather event are on the table. We believe we have the mixture correct. So now we wait and see. And all modes of severe weather will be possible this afternoon. Damaging straight-line winds will be the main threat, and then a few tornadoes will also be a secondary threat, and some hail can't be completely ruled out, but this is not a major hail setup, we don't think. I believe it's straight-line winds going to be the main issue, and then a few tornadoes here and there. We'll be watching this as we go throughout the afternoon for East Alabama, West Georgia, and up here in Northeast Georgia as well. So tomorrow it's all gone. It'll be a cold, raw, rainy day tomorrow, maybe even a snowflake or two back across East Alabama and West Georgia. I think the chances are much better up here in Northeast Georgia, and you get up into the higher elevations of North Georgia and up into the Great Smokies, we could actually see a dusting up to a half inch or so tomorrow morning, and then throughout the day on Friday. Back down across East Alabama and West Georgia, just a novelty flurry here and there. No accumulation anticipated at this time. And then on Saturday, no precipitation across East Alabama or West Georgia. So here's the latest from the National Weather Service office out of Birmingham, showing that upgrade to an enhanced risk across Central and East Alabama. So if you know where you live on a state map, and every last one of you should be able to pick out your county by looking at this map. If you can't, then you need to download an Alabama or Georgia state map and learn where your county is, because that's how we give weather information. So you'll see there that all of East Alabama is in that orange area. That is the enhanced risk. If you're back across West Alabama or Northwest Alabama, you're in that yellow category, which is a slight risk. You'll notice that we're at enhanced. That means there's only 2 more levels to go before we fall off the scale up there. So this is relatively significant. You see enhanced across the area maybe a couple of times a year, and here's one of them. So pay attention to this as you go throughout the afternoon. Timing for today's storms, the line is really kind of broken up right now, but it is increasing in coverage and intensity, and I'll show you that in just a few moments. But it's about to move into Northwest Alabama at this hour. This recording made it about 5:45 on your Thursday morning. And so then that will slowly move across Northwest into Central Alabama by 9 or 10 a.m. this morning. And then we think into East Alabama probably around noon or shortly after. And when I say East Alabama, I'm considering Talladega up there in Talladega County down to around Coosa County as being the beginning of East Alabama. So I think moving into Talladega and Coosa, Chilton, probably around noon or maybe 11:30 to noon today, and then it'll continue marching across East Alabama this afternoon. I think the best window of opportunity for severe weather will be from about 12 noon through about 3 or 4 this afternoon. It's not going to storm that entire time in your front yard. Once this line moves in, it's only going to probably take 30 minutes or so for the line to pass your house. It's almost as soon as that line passes your house, your threat for severe weather will start going down very quickly. Even though you may still hear a rumble of thunder or two, the main threat for severe weather is going to be just in advance of and along that line of thunderstorms. We're going to call it a squall line this afternoon. It's going to look ominous. If you look back toward the line of storms as it starts to move in, the clouds are just going to be really, really scary looking because it's going to look like a wall cloud coming at you. It's going to be very windy. That's another piece to all of this. We have winds even when it's not storming, and some of that stuff could be enhanced as this line of storms moves through. So pay attention to today's event, and we will have coverage for you here on Dr. Don's Weather. So let's head on over to our current conditions at the East Alabama Bee Company and tell you that it's currently 62. That's way too warm for this time of year. The high yesterday was 62. We do have fog and maybe even a few spotted showers out there this morning. Wind out of the south-southwest at 3. That's the problem. That's where our warmth is coming from, and that's going to help fuel these storms this afternoon. Gusting to 11 miles per hour. The humidity is 94%. The barometric pressure 30.04 and dropping. No rain officially, but that will change. Sunrise this morning at 6:43. Sun sets this evening at 4:55. And don't forget to run by M.L. Aubrey's in downtown Roanoke or Randolph Farmers Co-op up in Wedowee to pick up your East Alabama Bee Company honey. Headed for 70 this afternoon in Roanoke on January 12th. That's why we're dealing with storms today. 67 over in Ashland, Lineville. Wedowee goes to 68. 67 up in Ranburne. 73 in LaGrange. We'll hit 72 in Pine Mountain. Look at Tallahassee. 74 degrees this afternoon, the expected high temperature. Here's your Southern Union State Community College live Doppler HD radar down in the lower left-hand corner. We'll give you the 6-day forecast first, then we'll look at that radar. I'll show you where all this stuff is at this hour. So your 6-day forecast for today, a 90% chance of showers and thunderstorms. It's going to be a very windy day. We have a wind advisory in effect for winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour. It is going to be a stormy afternoon. The Storm Prediction Center has upgraded our risk of severe weather to enhanced now across the area. 70 will be the high. A few small tornadoes are possible. Damaging straight line winds will be the main threat when that squall line moves through the area after noon this afternoon. 36, your overnight low, will maintain a 30% chance of a shower through about 8 o'clock this evening. And then we'll go through the remainder of the night, mostly cloudy and cold. On Friday, we'll introduce a slight chance of a sprinkle or maybe a flurry early on Friday morning. No accumulation. This is not going to be an accumulating snow. It'll just be something pretty to look at if it happens at all. The further north you go, up into North Alabama, up into North Georgia, northeast mountains of Alabama, or northeast mountains of Georgia, you stand a much better chance at seeing a snowflake or two. And if you get up in the highest elevations of northeast Georgia and on up into the Great Smokies, you could see a dusting to a half inch or so in some locations on Friday. But Friday is going to be a cold, raw, windy day. I mean, the low 40s is as warm as we're going to get. And with that wind continuing out of the northwest, it's going to keep our wind chill factors in the 30s all day long. So bundle up. You're going to be outside on Friday. Back to winter, down to 26 degrees on Friday night. Saturday and Sunday, a slow warming trend, though it'll be very cold at night. 25 Saturday night and 32 on Sunday night. Monday, partly cloudy, 57. And our next storm system is in here on Tuesday with a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Here's your Southern Union State Community College live Doppler HD radar. Let's take a look at what we've got here. You'll notice this loop starts out there at about 5 a.m. and runs through about 5:45. And you can clearly see the showers on the increase up here around the Birmingham metro area and just north between Birmingham and Huntsville. And then if you look back over here in Mississippi, that's our main That's the star of our show right there, stretching from Tupelo all the way back down to between Monroe and Monroe, Louisiana, and Jackson, Mississippi, out there along I-20. That's where the heaviest weather is at this hour. But understand, we have that southwest wind flow coming up off the Gulf of Mexico out ahead of this line of thunderstorms. So this line of storms hasn't really tapped in to the environment that it needs to really become strong just yet. That's going to be happening over the next couple of hours. So we're going to watch and see what happens over here in Mississippi and across northwest Alabama. But the folks at the National Weather Service believe that as this line moves east, it is going to increase in both coverage and intensity. And by the time it makes it into central Alabama, this could be a pretty nasty line of showers and thunderstorms, producing damaging straight line winds and perhaps a few small tornadoes. And again, folks, make sure you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather so that if and when we do go live this afternoon for coverage, you'll get that notification that we're on, and we give you street level information about what's happening across East Alabama and West Georgia. You know, the big television stations in Birmingham and Atlanta may tell you that something's going on over there in Randolph County, but they're not going to give you wall-to-wall live street-level coverage of what's happening. We, however, can do that for you. Same thing up here in Northeast Georgia for White County. We do it over on our public safety channel. So be sure that you subscribe to those YouTube channels so that you'll get that notification when we go live this afternoon. Be sure and follow us over on Twitter. It's at DSTREN1040. We broadcast all of our weather information on Twitter, just as we do on Facebook, YouTube, and at DrDonWX.com. That's our home on the World Wide Web. We invite you to go to our website, click on that donate button so that you can help support us here at Dr. Don's Weather. That's what keeps us on the air. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I most likely will see you back in here this afternoon with live severe weather coverage. Hopefully not, and hopefully the next time I see you is tomorrow morning. Y'all have a fantastic Thursday and stay safe out there.